Hello, hello. Okay, it says we are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our show tonight. I am pulling up all the platforms to make sure that we are indeed live in all the places. I'm working on a little bit of a newer setup to make sure that the mic is ready to go, that you guys can hear me loud and clear. I know it's probably, to me, it's a little daunting having the mic like so close up front. I usually have it like kind of to the side, but nevertheless, we're not going to let that bother us because we have a lot that I want to cover tonight. I want to keep it as actionable. Oh, look, my mic's like slowly heading downwards. Oh, I love this. This is great. I'm going to keep it as actionable as possible. And by the way, I do have a new mic on the way. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Every quarter we try to level up just a little bit more, just to make sure that we're putting out what it is that we intend to in terms of amazing content in the most professional way that we possibly can to make sure that we're getting our message across. But at the end of the day, right, it's the message that counts above all. Would you not say? So, without further ado, I would love for you all to let me know where you're zooming in from. Please, please, please. I love it when you engage in the chat with me. So, do not be afraid to do so. We have five really powerful segments that I want to share with you tonight. So, let me go ahead and have a look at who is here with us. Engage in the chat. I feel like, here, I've like, now the mic is like extra lint looking. So I've got a lint roller, guys. I'm just gonna do that just so. Meanwhile, I'm probably like turning off the audio accidentally. Like, why mess with your mic while you're in the middle of a live session? But you know what my thought process about it is, my friends, I feel like you know what, we're all family here. We are all family here, so we can make it happen, okay? Julie, good to see you. How are you, my friend? How's your family? Are you guys impacted at all with Palisades and all that's going on? Let me know in the chat, my friend. Goodness gracious. I've been thinking about you. I sent you a message. I know I got some messages back from a few of our members, but I'm not sure if you had the opportunity to write me back, my friend. So I will check. I will check sooner than later. Okay, so let me know. Let me know how you're doing, how family's doing. I'm sure you have quite a few folks that you know who are impacted and all this going on in Palisades. I'm so sorry to hear what has gone down. All right, guys, keep it coming. I will I will do one more thing. I want to have a quick little peek in the other platforms. I think I'm kind of giving up on Instagram. Should I give up on Instagram, guys, or should I still try? I feel like Instagram is a little bit complex with all of the platforms. Okay, I'm so glad. Yeah, I figured you knew people who lost their home. Oh my gosh, lady. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I am glad, though. I'm grateful that you are doing okay. So that is good news, and that your home is saved. So that is great news. As I'm moving my things around, I'll show you guys what's on my desk that I'm reading. The AI Driven Leader. It's a good one. It's a good one. And this is a really good reminder, guys, the gap in the game. This is the High Achiever's Guide to Happiness, Confidence, and Success. This one is so important because how often do we achieve whatever goal we had set for ourselves? And instead of basking in the success of that particular goal, the paradox of the high achievers that we're always looking for the next goal before we even celebrate and show our gratitude for the last goal. So that is a stark reminder and a great reminder, this book, The Gap in the Gain, about the importance of looking how far we've come, based on, say we're immigrants, or say we grew up in um, an environment where we had lower means, and here we are now. And so our, excuse me, cough and cold season, our default is to strive and strive and strive and strive some more. However, this book reminds us to take a beat and just look back a little bit, right? And just evaluate how far we've come and have some gratitude for that. So it's a good one. It's a good read. And I look forward to sharing it more and more with our community because sometimes we're doing too much, right? Sometimes we're doing a little bit too much. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to look in one more place. Let's see how we're doing on LinkedIn. Are we live on LinkedIn? If you're following us on LinkedIn, feel free, my friends, feel free to go ahead and as I pop up, right, to see if we're live, I'm getting all these alerts like breaking news, this, breaking news, that. It's like, wait, I will look at breaking news sooner than later. But in the interim, I just want to make sure that I am live on LinkedIn, and it looks like we are. It looks like we're live. So tonight, guys, we're talking about the 5 real estate tax strategies that doctors must know to keep more of their money. Okay. And so for those of you who are saying to me, well, Rachel, I'm not a doctor, I'm a higher income earner that has my taxes being ed up, this applies to you too. So we're not discriminating at all. I just speak to what I know personally, my own trials, my own tribulations, my own struggles. And that's why we typically speak to and focus on doctors and busy medical professionals. And so no dig on any of the other careers. I'm sure there is burnout in so many different sectors, but we are here to discuss that specifically. So I'm really, really excited about what we're discussing tonight because I think some of the strategies that I'm sharing, they're actually really secretive. Some of them are top secret strategies. And these are strategies that I did not come up with myself. I am not a tax professional. I'm going to read the disclaimer to you that my attorneys make me read out in just a short moment. But as I was gathering the information from all of the faculty that we have interacted with inside of our mastermind, it's like, oh my gosh, this is a plug. This is a plug. This is a plug. Really, if I'm being fully transparent, I have about 12 extra secret, top tier tax strategies that I know not a lot of people are talking about, but nevertheless, we're going to share our top 5. Towards the end, I may pull up my list just to do some honorable mentions. Yeah, I may pull up my list at the end to do some honorable mentions. I just want to focus on the top 5 so that we can keep things as tight and as succinct as possible. And I'm blowing my nose, which is super professional and super awesome, which I don't love. But let me make sure that. Okay, hold on. Low grade and current is not heard. Let me see. That's the thing about social media, guys. I go on to see if I'm live on all the places, and all of a sudden you see someone who says that they just had something happen, a death in a family, breaking news, the FDA is doing this. It's like, oh my gosh. So that's why I schedule out like an hour a week to do social media, and I just turn it off. Otherwise, it's like, it can be a little bit daunting. Okay, so my lights are on. I think we're ready. Let's get this party started. Okay, let me do a mic check because last time my mic was turned off. I had the wrong mic on. Okay, I've got the right mic, it looks like. Boom, boom. Yeah, that's it. All right, I think we're good. Let me pull up my notes on the side just in case I need to refer to them. But I have delved super deep into these. And again, I've learned so much from our faculty. I'm going to shout them out as we go along. And if I forget to shout them out as we go along, I'll shout them out towards the end, okay? All right. Deep breath in and out. Let's dive in. Ever feel like no matter how much you earn, it just doesn't feel enough? As doctors, we are often so overworked, but the taxes, y'all, the taxes eat up so much of what we bring in. And so here's the good news, though. Here's the good news. There are legal, strategic ways out there to save on taxes to help you keep more of your money without adding extra hours to your already jam-packed schedule. Today, I'm sharing 5 powerful real estate strategies that could save you tens of thousands of dollars in taxes. And yes, even busy doctors with no real estate experience at all can take advantage of these strategies. Welcome back. This is the Luxury Rental Doctor Show. I'm Dr. Rachel, your doctor turned real estate investor, helping busy professionals, especially women in medicine, create wealth without having to sacrifice their entire lives, sacrificing their well-being and all of that good stuff. You have probably heard of our luxury midterm rentals featured on Netflix, but today I'm just focused on breaking down these 5 tax strategies that any doctor can use, whether you own one property or you're thinking of getting your first in 2025. I get it, you're super exhausted, and the last thing you want to talk about is taxes, but hear me out. Come back to me if you're multitasking. Hear me out, guys. Here's the deal. Understanding these strategies isn't just about saving money. It is about finally taking control of your financial future so you can work less, live more, and build a legacy for your family. So something really quick and really, really important. I'm going to bring the mic up to make sure everyone's hearing me. While these strategies are super, super powerful, I am not a tax attorney. I'm not a CPA or financial advisor. So this information that I'm sharing today is for educational purposes only. Every person's situation is unique, so make sure you consult with your qualified tax professionals and legal advisors before implementing any of these strategies. For me, I think it's really important that you start to get the conversations going about your personal situation because everyone's situation is different and you're going to need to structure things properly to make sure you can take advantage of what is out there for you, okay? Now let's dive into tax strategy number 1. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tax strategies for homeowners. This is called Section 121 of the IRS tax code. So this is commonly known as the primary residence exclusion. So here's how it works. So if you have lived in your property, use it as your primary residence for at least 2 years during the last 5-year period before you sell it, you qualify for a significant tax break. Now, as a single person, you can avoid paying around $250,000 from your profit, essentially from the sale of the property. As a married filing jointly, this benefit doubles to $500,000. So Dr. Maya, it was Dr. Maya inside of our community and our mastermind, she recently sold her home. Her and her husband, they made $400,000 in profit after owning it for just 3 years. Now, because she met that primary residency requirement, that means living there for at least 2 out of the last 5 years, she didn't have to pay any capital gains taxes on the profit. Now she's using that money, that tax-free money, to purchase her very first short-term rental property and adding that to her portfolio as her first investment property. Now, what makes this strategy so powerful and even better is that there's no limit to how many times you can use this. You can repeat this process every 2 years. So the limitation would be 2 years with different primary residents. So this is an amazing opportunity. We have done it 3 times personally, and it's just a strategic opportunity. It's almost like you can map out the next several decades of your portfolio by leveraging that. Some of our properties, we leverage this Rule 121. We transitioned a few properties into investment properties for a few years, then 1031 exchange those properties. And we're going to talk about that one next. Just another amazing, powerful tool. Or you can go ahead and sell the property and you get to hold on to all of those significant tax-free dollars that come in. And essentially you're building significant wealth tax-free. And this is over time through real estate investing. So that is strategy number 1. That is Rule 121 or it's called Section 121 of the IRS tax code. Strategy number 2, tax strategy number 2, 1031 exchange. Now, I call this one the real estate investor's best friend. Now, the 1031 exchange, it works like this. So imagine you are selling an investment property, and instead of giving a huge chunk to the IRS, you get to keep all of that money working for you. Okay, so that's exactly what the 1031 exchange lets you do. You can sell one investment property, roll the profits into a bigger and better investment property without paying capital gains taxes. Okay, so I don't want to say his name because he's on the interwebs. So let's call him Dr. L. He uses absolutely brilliantly. He sold his rental property for 500,000. He was facing a $100,000 tax bill, and instead of writing that big old paycheck to the IRS, he used it and rolled it into a vacation home and ended up saving $100,000. And now that property, he purchased it about 3 years ago, is still growing wealth for him today. So think about it like this, and this is the long game, guys. When it comes to real estate, I liken it to a lot of the other investment strategies out there that have longevity, like say the index funds. Everyone says invest in index funds. Excuse me. However, if you play the long game with real estate, you're going to see the benefits over time. So think of it like a snowball rolling downhill. And each time you exchange or leverage a 1031 exchange, your investment can grow bigger and bigger and bigger, completely tax deferred. So one of our faculty members inside of our community is Dave Foster. He is our qualified intermediary, and he talks about the 4Ds of the 1031 exchange. And he's like Mr. 1031. And the 4Ds are you defer, and you do it again, you defer, you do it again, you defer, and then you die. And so those are the 4Ds. And so, yes, it sounds kind of gloomy. It sounds kind of gory, but this is the power. This is what a lot of the top 1%ers are doing. They're leaving their inheritances behind. They're building legacy by leveraging these tax deferred vehicles. And so these are just really, really powerful strategies. Okay. So savvy investors are turning these single family homes, as you grow and grow, they can turn them into, uh, as they get bigger and better, into a boutique hotel, for instance, or into larger properties. They can turn a modest portfolio into a multi-million-dollar empire, leveraging the power of the 1031 exchange. It's super, super duper powerful. Okay. All right. So I am so excited that you made it to tax strategy number 3. Tax strategy number 3 is where depreciation meets the short-term rental loophole. Okay, now this is where all the magic happens. It's getting really exciting now. So I call this the double win strategy. It's where depreciation meets short-term rental loophole, total game changer. Here's the genius part. The IRS lets you deduct the wear and tear on your property through depreciation, even while the property is actually going up in value. And this is something we leverage called the cost segregation study. So with the cost segregation study, you can even create a scenario where you can like propel or supercharge these deductions in the early years. Okay. And it even gets better than that. So when you rent a property like a short-term rental, kind of like an Airbnb or a property on Vrbo, something really magical happens. You're now considered actively managing the property. And the IRS treats this completely differently from traditional rentals. So it means that you can use all of that depreciation, all of it, or a percentage, so anywhere from 40 to 100%, to offset your regular income. Yes, I'm talking about like your W-2 income. Okay. So inside of our community, Dr. Patel, she bought a beautiful lakeside cabin. She spent 100 hours throughout the year working on managing it. So that's just 2 hours a week. And so through depreciation, she was able to take a $200,000 deduction on that property. And so when you add up the tax savings, add up the rental savings, the rental income, actually, she put an extra $100,000 in her pocket in that year. And the cherry on top, she gets to use the lakeside cabin for herself and her family as well. So this is my absolute favorite strategy, is the absolute best strategy for busy professionals, because you do not need to qualify for a whole bunch of things to make it happen. And one of the big things that I have heard doctors trying to qualify is something called REPS status. You don't need to qualify for REP status. We're going to talk about REP status in a moment. And again, just a few hours a week of active management. I know everyone's wanting passive income. A few hours a week of active income, 2 hours a week of active management, 2 hours a week of active management. You're able to unlock some massive and serious tax benefits while building long-term wealth. Okay. All right. Now let's move on to strategy number 4. We're on strategy number 4. That is REPS status. And we just mentioned it a little bit earlier. That's real estate professional status. So our faculty inside of our mastermind, Ryan Bakey, Amanda Hahn, the real estate tax guys, which are Tom Castelli and Brandon Hall, they talk about this all the time, along with the short-term rental loopholes and such. So real estate professional status is super duper powerful. Unfortunately, you as a busy doctor working W-2 or 1099, you're not going to qualify for it. Do not waste your time trying to qualify for it. However, this is perfect if you are working full-time, but say your spouse is not working full-time, or your spouse is helping to manage the household, etc., etc. So here's how it works. Your spouse can dedicate 750 hours or so per year to managing your real estate portfolio, and that would be about 15 hours a week or so. Make that their primary business activity. And when that occurs, something incredible happens. Now, all of those real estate paper losses can now offset your W-2 income, similar to the short-term rental tax loophole, but this would apply to long-term rentals for the most part. Okay. So I have a lot of members inside of a mastermind that I'm a part of. I'm not my mastermind, but another one that I'm a part of. They have, 8-figure, 9-figure earners. And they're always the ones bringing in like the active income, and they have their spouse set up as rep status or real estate professional status. And physician masterminds that I'm a part of as well are leveraging this specific strategy. So keep that in mind, okay? So leverage your spouse, your spouse's ability to help out and offset your income, especially if you're heading into your peak years. That's something that's really important to take into consideration. Okay. So yes, you heard that right. They can help offset your peak W-2 income by leveraging reps status. So Dr. Pham inside of our community, she's a gastroenterologist. Her husband took charge of their long-term rental real estate portfolio. He spent time finding the deals, managing the renovations, handling the, tenant issues, the whole 9 yards. And so that allowed him to be qualified for rep status. The IRS, I feel like they don't love the rep status. So you have to kind of prove yourself. And he was able to prove it, and he was good to go. And now they use your real estate paper losses to offset her W-2 income, saving over $120,000 in taxes. And this was just last year alone. Okay. So again, I'll be straight with you. This is not a part-time strategy. Your spouse really needs to be serious about real estate. So make sure that they're willing to commit to it, because the IRS really wants to make sure that whoever is claiming rep status is really doing the thing. And everything we do, guys, we're going to be legal with what we're doing. And also, I don't want you to get a nasty audit. Right now, you're in trouble with an audit, and don't nobody got time for an IRS audit. It's quite daunting. Okay. All right. Let's talk about tax strategy number 5. Tax strategy number 5 is self-directed IRA. This is another powerful tax advantage tool that's out there, the self-directed IRA, also known as the SDIRA, is not like your traditional IRAs. The SDIRA actually lets you invest in real estate. It lets you invest in private placements, and it even lets you invest in promissory notes, all while deferring taxes on your gains. So Dr. Angela, she used her SDIRA to invest in a $200,000 rental property. The rental income and the appreciation grew tax free within that account. And so when she retires later on, she could withdraw the funds kind of strategically and minimize her tax liability during that retirement. So I absolutely love it. And there are different combinations and permutations of this. I've actually leveraged a solo 401k that is within that realm, that family, and I borrowed against it to create a down payment buffer for one of our properties, which is absolutely amazing. So if you're able to combine your SDIRA with a cost segregation study or depreciation, you could really, really like supercharge your tax savings. Okay. So there are so many options out there to use non-recourse loans to leverage your investments inside of the account. It's just such an incredibly powerful way to build wealth for your retirement while making sure that you're staying tax efficient. Okay. So I want to remind you again, take the time, listen in. If you need to listen to this one more time, feel free to do so. I want you to elevate the conversations that you're having with your tax strategist. My goal is for you not to focus on what happened yesterday or what happened in the past. Tax planning into the future is huge and it is very, very important. And part of what we're discussing today, the goal is I want you to have those deeper conversations with your tax strategist. Okay. So a few more things. Those are the top 5, but there are a few more out there that deserve an honorable mention. And they may not be exactly real estate related, but income shifting strategies. I hope you're taking advantage of income shifting strategies by paying your children and leveraging Roth IRAs to pay your children. That is a really powerful one as well. Another one that I didn't get a chance to cover is called the Augusta Rule. So that's a real estate related one as well. So I'm just kind of name dropping these as we go to make sure that you are having these deeper conversations with your tax strategists, because the dentists, the pharmacists, the physicians inside of our community, the surgeons, they're all leveraging and they're taking a look at these tax strategies. We bring on faculty to teach this specifically so that no one is left behind. It's really, really important to make sure that your money is working hard for you, right? Not the other way around, and not the other way around. Okay, so let me leave you with this. We just covered the 5, I think, the 5 most powerful tax strategies that the wealthy have been using for decades. As a matter of fact, the 1031 exchange, our faculty just shared with me that that particular one was around in the 1920s. Okay, so that's over a century ago. Okay, so this is what the wealthy have been using for decades, strategies that could put tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars back in your pocket. We talked about tax-free profits from your primary home. We talked about the snowball effect of 1031 exchange. We talk about the magic of short-term rentals and the deductions therein. We covered rep status, wealth building power of SDIRAs, self-directed IRAs. But here's the real truth bomb. The real truth bomb is that you didn't spend all of those years in medical school, in pharmacy school, in dental school to hand over half of your income to the IRS. Okay, I don't know about you, but I know I didn't. So for me, these aren't just tax strategies, they are your ticket to financial freedom. Your practice, you and your practice makes a great living, right? But these strategies, they are what's going to build you generational wealth. Okay, so here's your big challenge. I want you to pick one of these strategies from today's episode, just one. Learn it, understand it, pick one that most is going to be the lowest lift for you to implement in 2025. Okay, because you have worked way too hard to let your money just walk away. Okay, So if this has lit a fire under you, my friend, share it with a colleague. Let's build a community of wealth building professionals who are done playing small with their money. Until next time, my friends, this is Dr. Rachel reminding you that your next big move starts right now. So let's build that legacy. All right, so I am going to pop on to see if we have any questions. Drop your questions in the chat. And for those of you who dropped your questions, there's a little bit of a delay. So my humble apologies. I will go back in and follow up and make sure that all the questions are answered, okay? So I so appreciate you joining me tonight. I love you all to the moon and back, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.